Hey guys, Peter here again. So we're doing another song application. This time we're going to be doing it in the key of A. So far we've kind of gone through the circle of fifths, C, G, D. Now we're going to continue on to A. And our application, we're going to learn our scale because we need to know how everything fits within this key of A. And then the scales, and then applying it to the song, Someone Like You by Adele. Okay, so this one's a fun one. I think everybody knows the song, just about everybody. If you listen to any sort of the radio, you would have heard this 1,000 times by now. Right? It's all over the place. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the little notification bell, so you guys are alerted when I do post another video. And please, to help out the channel, really hit that thumbs up for me. Just go ahead and go down, click that little blue thumbs up for me. It really helps my channel and helps people discover it so they can learn more about these chords as well. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we are in the key of A. So the key of A has 3 sharps, okay? F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. And you'll see the key signature here, okay? And I said the circle of fifths earlier. The circle of fifths, if you don't know what that is, that's fine. But as we continue, we're just going to keep adding on 1 sharp until we get to the maximum amount. And then from there, we'll continue on with the flats. So C major is 0 sharps, G is 1, D is 2, and now A is 3. And as they continue, you just keep on adding a sharp. So this one has F, C, and G. Let's go over the scale. A major, so we're going to start on the note A with our thumb, with our right hand. Here we go. And this still has the same fingerings as C, G, D. Okay, so the same fingers are exactly the same, just notes are different. So A, B, C, thumb is going to go underneath to D, E, F sharp 3, G sharp 4, thumb on A. Continuing. From here, it just repeats, right? C sharp, D, E, F sharp, 3rd finger, G sharp, 4th finger, and ending on A with our pinky. Now, that G sharp, because of our alternation between 3 and 4, G sharp will only be played with that 4th finger. The 4th finger will not play any other notes. So here we go back down. 3, 2, 1 on D, 3 C sharp, B, A with our thumb, 4th finger G sharp, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, 3rd finger, B, and A. Again, remember, 4th finger G sharp, 4th finger. Okay? Left hand. Starting with our pinky, and again, the same fingering as the ones previous. 5th A, 4 B, 3 C sharp, 2 D, thumb on E. Crossing over now. 3rd finger F sharp, 2nd finger G sharp, thumb on A. From here, we're going to cross over to our 4th finger, and our 4th finger on B, is going to be the note that happens for our left hand. 4th finger will always be on B with our left hand, 2 C sharp, and from here, it's just repeat. 3 F sharp, 2 G sharp, thumb on A, back down. F sharp, thumb on E, continuing, 2 D, 3 C sharp, 4 B, thumb A, continuing down. Repeat, thumb on E, B with our 4th finger, and ending on our pinky on that A. Okay, again, practice these hands separately, start putting them together. Okay, we can use, again, since this has the same fingerings as the other ones, we can use our 3rd fingers as our checkpoints to make sure that we're playing this correctly. Our 3rd fingers will line up through the scale, okay? So use that as your checkpoint. When you're playing hands together, use that as your checkpoint. 3rd fingers will line up, okay? Let's go right into the chords now, okay? All the chords within the scale, so we're going to use our scale, and we're going to do skips within that scale. First chord being A, C sharp, and E is our A major chord. Here we go, moving on up. B minor, B, D, and F sharp, continuing within the key again. F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp, we're keeping those in mind. C sharp, E. G sharp is our C sharp minor chord. And again, memorize these. You'll see these in other keys. D major, D, F sharp, and A. Continuing up, E major, E, G sharp, and B. F sharp minor, F sharp, A, and C. And then last but not least, Last one of this key at least, G sharp, B, and D. Our G sharp diminished chord. And if we continue up one more, back to A. So let's go through this again. A major, A, C sharp, and E. B, D, and F is B minor. C sharp, E, G sharp is C sharp minor. D, F sharp, A, D major. E major, E, G sharp, B. F sharp minor, F sharp, A, and C. And then G sharp diminish, G sharp, B, and D. Very good. Let's go ahead and get started with our song. Very, very popular song. Everybody knows it from the intro. Right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you the chords first. We're going to learn the chords, and then from there we'll apply the pattern. Okay? And the intro is something that you have to kind of stick note for note because it's the tag. It's the thing that people recognize. If you change this inversion, people aren't going to know that, right? So the beginning we have to play note for note. But as you get into the chorus and some of the like the pre-choruses and stuff where you have these different chord changes, feel free to use your own patterns through those. Especially if you're kind of accompanying yourself, you don't even necessarily need to use these patterns when you're doing some of those progressions. The intro is very, very important because of the sound that you want to create. But the other things, you can kind of choose your own patterns, even with your own inversions. Okay, so feel free when you learn these chords to change it up a little bit in your own, to make it kind of your own. Okay, so here we go. Let's go over the chords for the intro. So the first chord is going to be our A major chord, A, C sharp, and E. And you can just play A in the bass with the left hand. Next chord, and you'll see this here in front of you, is going to be a C sharp minor over G sharp. And the G sharp you'll just play in the bass, right? Okay. Next is going to be an F sharp minor, F sharp, A, and C sharp. Okay, with F sharp in the bass, and then the last one being D major, D, F sharp, and A. Okay, so before we move on, let's talk about the counting. So each of these chords are going to last 4 beats. Okay, so let's do that. So A major, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then C sharp over G sharp, 2, 3, 4. F sharp minor, 2, 3. D major, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so these are the chords that are being played in a specific pattern that create the intro sound. So let's go over those inversions. A major, A, C sharp, and E. Okay, it's going to be our first inversion. You don't have to move it anywhere. This is where it starts. Next inversion is that C sharp minor. We're just going to take C sharp, E, and move the G sharp down underneath here. The next chord is F sharp minor, but for the intro, we are going to leave out the A, the F sharp, A, and C sharp. We're going to leave out the A and play what we call a 5. And we're going to leave out the third. So F sharp, C sharp, and F sharp on the top with F sharp in the bass. And then the last one in this order, D major, D, F sharp, and A. Okay? So from here, all we're going to do is rock from the bottom up to the top and then back down. So bottom, middle, top, middle, bottom, middle, top, middle. For all 4 of them. Now we're going to move on to the next one, C sharp minor. 4 times each. D major. And that's why I gave you the inversions that way, so that you learn the inversions, and then from there you can add that pattern. Bottom, middle, top, middle, bottom. And then we just speed it up to make it sound like this sound that we're used to hearing. From there, it continues on. And all the intro and the verses are the exact same progression. And if you wanted to, maybe singing and playing over this is a little bit too tricky, you can even bring it back to just chords. Let you settle down, let you. You can just play it as chords if you would like to, as opposed to trying to. This pattern is really tricky one to kind of sing over as you're playing, because there's so much going on with your hands. So until you get the singing and playing at the same time, maybe just focus on playing chords. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay. But if you're able to sing and play at the same time, by all means, add that rhythm back in. Let you settle down, let you. Okay, you kind of get the idea there, all right? Very good. So that's the intro and all the verses. Let's go ahead and get into our pre-chorus, okay? And this is where you really have the freedom to use whatever inversions and whatever pattern that you'd like. We're going to go over the way that I would go about doing it, but feel free to use different inversions here. So this chord is an E, and typically written as like an add 2, where you add the second note of that particular chord, which would be F sharp. We're not going to worry about that. We're just going to play it as an E major chord. E major, E, G sharp, and I'm using this inversion. E, G sharp, and B here. Okay. The next one is going to be F sharp minor, and then you'll see D major is going to be for 4 beats. So let's do that. 1, 2, F sharp for 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, notice I move down to D. This is also an acceptable inversion for D. D, F sharp, and A. And so let's use that. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it repeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then it does this D, does an E chord / D. So you're going to play an E chord with your right hand. E, G, and B over D. And then to A. And then that's when the chorus begins. Actually, let's we're going to add something because I messed up. So we have, I didn't mess up, but I left out one chord. So we did that D, we did the E over D, and then we have to go back to D. And typically in the song it moves up. So the inversions, we are going to choose to move up with it. D, E over D, and then D major again, just a normal D, D, F sharp, and A, with D still in the bass. And then from there we can go into our chorus. Okay. So now what would that sound like if we added that pattern that we started with at the beginning? The bottom, top, bottom, middle, top. Let's listen to that. Here we go. Ready? E major. And then we go into our chorus. And now the chorus, again, you can just play chords, or you can choose to do that rhythm pattern. Completely up to you what you feel comfortable with in terms of playing and singing, or maybe you're just playing, so feel free to add that pattern into it, okay? The chorus basically just turns into a 4-chord song in a very, very recognizable pattern. A major, then we're going to go to E major. We've already done this in inversion. E, G sharp, and B. F sharp minor, F sharp, A, and C sharp, and then D major, D, F sharp, and A, each being 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm gonna go ahead and switch from here, and I'm gonna go to the rhythm pattern so you can hear it. Here we go. at the end of the chorus, it's basically that. I think it's that pattern again. And let me check here. I just want to check my music. Yeah, it's actually just G major. It's just so sharp, but it's an extra 2 beats before it goes back to the first again. And we've already done that already. Okay. So now there's one more section that we have to, well, 2 more sections, and we're going to learn the little interlude when she starts singing Nothing Compares. Okay. So this is basically what it starts on. Is it starts on E. Okay, and we're going to play this as root position chord. So we're going to have E on the bottom. We're not going to change up the bass for this. We're going to play E on the bottom. Make it very simple. E major for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. F sharp minor for 4. 2, 3. D major for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what we have, those are 3 chords that we've already seen the inversions for. Next chord we have is B minor. B, D, and F sharp. Okay, and you'll see that A over C sharp. Okay, then to D again. And notice that A over C sharp, I'm just playing the A chord, and that C sharp is going to be in the bass. Okay, now we're going to do the same pattern. D major, E major, but when we're done with that little, I guess it would be considered the bridge, right? When we're done with that bridge, we don't go back to D major after that E over D. We go straight to the chorus. Okay, so it's a little bit different than when we did the pre-chorus going into the chorus. It's a little bit different. The pre-chorus going to the chorus is D, E, back to D, right? But this one's just D, E over D, and then into the chorus. And so once that bridge happens and the chorus comes back, it repeats 2 times. Okay? And you'll have to listen to the music to kind of understand how all of these pieces fit. I'm teaching you all the different sections using chords, and you'll have to go and listen to it and kind of determine where all these pieces go. Because there's a lot of repeats. It goes back and forth to different places. Okay? So let's go through that bridge again. So the bridge here. Okay? So E major for 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, F sharp minor. 1, 2, 3, D major. 1, 2, B minor. 1, 2, A over C sharp. 1, 2, and then D, 2, E over D, and then back to the chorus, which we've already learned. Okay, and again, this bridge, you can add those pulses. 1. And then into the chorus, right? Okay, which we've already done. So we've got all the pieces. We've done the intro and the verse. We've done the chorus. We've done the bridge. Now the only thing that we need to do from here is the last part, the outro. After the bridge comes and the chorus repeats twice, and then we have this little outro. And this is another thing that you kind of want to try to keep very close to the same sound. You don't want to change the inversions on this, because then again, this is the parts that, there's no words, and so this is the part that people listen to and can relate to the sound, and they go, oh, I know that's exactly how it goes. I know exactly what that is. Okay. So the outro basically starts on a D major, but it starts on a low D major, D, F sharp, and A, and this does rock back and forth. Bottom. Every 2 beats it changes. So let's go over those notes. D major is the first one. Then it's like this, and it's an E major chord with D in the bass still, but we're leaving out the E. So it's D, G sharp, and B, and we pulse those back and forth. Let's do that again. And these top two notes just keep moving up while the thumb stays on D. A, C sharp. So let's do those three. And then it moves up again. Now this time when it moves up, only the top note moves up. So we have D, A, and D. Hi, Dad. D, A, and D. So now what we do is we do this one for 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we end on A, just an A5. A, and then the 5th, an E. A and E. That's it. Let's do those again. 2, change, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we end on that A and E with A in the bass. Okay, that's all the pieces put together. Yeah, that's everything. So if hopefully this was very helpful for you. I recommend just listening to the song to kind of know in all these pieces. I have them all labeled on there, so you could probably print out your own lyric sheet that has all the different parts labeled. Verse, intro, chorus, all those kind of things, and you can start putting these pieces together at home. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope this was helpful. I know I'm not going to be able to play through the entire thing right now, but again, you guys have all the pieces here. I hope it was helpful. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you guys are alerted when I do release again. And please go ahead and hit that thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. Again, I appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you guys next time.